So we're doing something a little bit different today. It's not firewood related. Kissing booth, I know what he licks. I'm not kissing that dog.
Aww,
but we've got a trunk or treat set up. We've got a bunch of people here. Got the UMaine Woodsman team. They're right beside us. Say hey, guys.
Hi.
And we got the heating lodge down here. Tyler and Heather, Margot. And we got the Y. And of course, the suspenders, because you got to have those. So we did a job in Burlington. We didn't really have a chance to do a lot of recording and got that finished up. And now we've got a trunk or treat. Good morning, guys. It's been a couple of days since we've had a video, and that's because we weren't on site. We went to Burlington, Maine and did some mobile cutting and processing for a customer. And he asked that we not record while we were there, so we were respectful of that. But Kevin and I went up and cut and split, I'm going to say between 3 and 4 quarter wood for him. Took a couple of mornings and did that. Richard has had hockey, he's had football, we've had trunk or treats. I've gone and looked at a couple of mobile sawing jobs, and it sounds like we may have at least one of those, if not two. And we also have some news about bagged and bundled firewood and fire starters. So hang on just a minute and we'll explain that too. So status update on the yard. We've got just about 2 loads worth of wood left in the yard. The load that was up there is all gone. I've got just a little bit of dry wood, and you can see the splitter's been moved because we had it out on the job with us. We're gonna have to dig the sawmill out to get that ready to go to the mobile job. That's not going to be this week. It'll probably be next week. And we'll bring you along for some of that. I don't know if Kevin's gonna go with me or if Dave's gonna come give me a hand. But either way, rainy, drizzly morning today. The weather has been cold. It was 17 degrees yesterday morning, and the racks were full yesterday. But you can see that people are starting to figure out it's getting cold. So there's some holes in the racks. As soon as it stops raining, we'll try to get those filled back up because we don't want to have any holes in the racks. So a nurse that works for my wife, her husband and his business partner own the heating lodge in Bangor, Maine. And I was talking to him at the trunk or treat. This is why networking is so important and you never really know. They're interested in kindling, bagged kindling. And we have some cedar, so we can make that happen. He's also interested in bagged smoker woods for smokers and barbecue grills, as well as bagged hardwood and possibly bulk hardwood. And then the other caveat to that was they've got a great big paved parking lot. They're looking to add some summer equipment so that they have some more visibility for the business and something to do other than the heating side of the business. Granted, the heating lodge isn't really busy in the summer, so they're looking to add zero-turn mowers and some things like that. But they may want to stick an all-wood splitter or two down there and have them out there for advertising. And I said that we could figure something out that works. And he thought that was a great idea, just to have some more equipment in the yard. So that's a cool thing. So just loaded the wood stove again because it's cold and rainy. We've got the flue temp. It's a little low right now, but that'll pick right back up to the high end of that optimal range in just a few minutes. This soapstone stove that we have is a heritage stove. And we've had it, this is our 4th season. It's been a fantastic stove. The only complaint I have is the baffle that they put on top is made out of like a ceramic board. It's not very rugged at all. If you just tap it, you break it. I need a new baffle right now at this point, and I have one on order. When it gets here, we'll do a video showing how to replace it. I changed it a little bit just so that it's easier. It had some bolts in there that were a real pain to get out, and I put cotter pins in there instead. So I'll show you that when we get ready to change that. All right, good evening, guys. It's dark. I'm in here sitting by the wood stove, and we're drying some sawdust. And that's because I'm making fire starters. Just because it's dark outside doesn't mean that we're done yet. Let me show you how I've taken over the wife's kitchen table here. So we've got some sawdust dried there, and I've got a bunch of trays all filled with the wicks. And I'm gonna fill up these other couple of trays here. I've got some wicks pre-cut, and I've got wax out melting on the barbecue grill to get ready to pour. So I've got my wax in the barbecue grill, and I've got 2 of the 3 burners turned on high. We'll close this up. It'll take about a half hour or so to melt that wax and get it ready. So we take our dried sawdust mixture, and all I do is take a pinch and we put it into the cavities and just kind of tuck it in. A little harder to do with one hand and looking at the camera, but I can sit down and in the course of an hour I can fill my 10 trays that have 24 a piece of these little cavities, so I can make 240 in about an hour. And I charge 50 cents a piece for these. Bulk for wholesale, and retail wise I usually sell them for about 75 cents a piece to the general public, and that seemed to work really well for me to this point. It's not a hard process, it's a tedious process, and your wife might get a little upset because you're going to spill a little bit of wax. I got to make a setup in the garage so that I'm not doing it at the kitchen table. But this is usually what I do in the evenings when it's too dark to work, or like now when my wife is traveling for work and she's not here to yell at me for making a mess. Love you, honey. So there we go, guys. I've got all of the trays filled, and a pair of Richard's underwear. All the trays filled and waiting on wax to melt. What I normally do is I'll take 6 of these and I put them into a little paper bag, and I'll show you at the end. And anytime I have a new customer, I give them 6 of these fire starters. They're waterproof, they're food grade. They can be used in barbecue grills, pellet stoves, smokers, wood stoves, outdoor fire pits. Throw them in a survival kit, put them in your tackle box or in your backpack if you're a hunter or a fisher. And these things, you can throw them right into a container of water and take them out and light them. And I'll show you one of those examples in the end here. We'll throw one into a container of water and we'll let them rip. But over here behind me, I've got some coals in the stove. Flue temps running low. Time to add some wood. But I'm drying 2 more batches of sawdust. And once I get the sawdust dried, all I do is put it over here into my bin, and I fill this bin up. When this bin is full, I have enough material to make about, I want to say it was 7,500 fire starters. So it doesn't take a lot of sawdust. And with the amount of wood that we do, we have plenty. So don't pay any attention to the trim that's not finished here or over there. There's a guy that sells firewood that said he was going to do that a while ago, and he meant it. He'll get to it when he can. But these fire starters, because I give them away free, this whole batch that's sitting on the table, the next 240 of these, are going to one customer. They used a few that we had delivered to them and said it was the easiest way they had ever found to start a fire. And he wanted to know if he could purchase more. I said, absolutely. So we set an order up for it, and he's going to purchase $125 worth of fire starters. So that's going to work out pretty good. I gave him wholesale price because he buys 12 quart of firewood a year. So use your discretion on your pricing, guys. There's no sense to get full retail out of this guy if he's already buying 12 quart of firewood. And if he needs that many fire starters to get his fire started, then you're making out all right either way, I guess. So in a few minutes, we'll get the wax melted, and I'll set you guys on a tripod or something, and I'll show you how we pour these. The pouring is the hardest part, just because it can be messy and it's hot. I haven't found a good glove, even welding gloves, to handle and hold that hot wax for that long. I've got some industrial candle depositing dropper equipment that I've been looking at on Amazon. Don't know if I'm going to use that yet or not, or if I'm just going to keep doing it the way I'm doing. Typically, I'll make 3 to 4 batches of these a week, somewhere in there. So I'll make about 1,000 a week, and they sell. I give away 6 with every cord. So when we're doing 600 to 800 cord, you know, I'm giving out quite a few of these, but probably I would say 75% of the people that you give these to end up calling and wanting to buy them. And my bag has a business card that we clip on the front. So if there's any of you guys out there that do firewood and you want to maybe get some of these, let me know. I can send you a sample. We can do bulk pack through the United Postal Service, and stick them right in a box and send them to you bulk, and you can package them up however you want. It's just a nice thing to be able to add, for another line of sales opportunity or revenue to come through on the firewood side. All right, so I've got one tray that has a few fire starters left in it, and I'll show you how these pop out. Basically, once they're in the mold and they've hardened, I make sure they're good and cool. There's no heat left in them. I'll even stick them out in the garage where it's cold in the wintertime to help them cool a little bit quicker. You flip them over and just pop them out of the bottom. And then these here are the bags that I was talking about that we give to the customers. It's got a little plastic window in the front. So we open these bags up. I also do 10 counts of these for some of our retail accounts. There's 2, 4, 6. Then we fold the bag over so that it closes it. We take a business card, and this has a little metallic strip. You can fold it over and it locks the business card on. And then this is what we would give to our customers when they order a cord of firewood. We give them one of these 6-packs per cord. If somebody's getting a big order, I'll give them more than 6. I use my discretion, especially knowing the customers and who they are. Some of our older customers, they say we can start a fire, we don't need these things. So I let them do what they want. But this is the fire starters that we give out for free. Now that I got that partial tray out of there, we'll get all those full trays back and we'll pour some wax. So through the art of camera magic and me forgetting to record, I didn't record the first batch. So we got 240 done. I'm starting to put the wicks in. Basically all I do is I take my finger, I press them in the corner, and I bend them over to make a Z. And that will hold them until we get the sawdust on top of them. And then we pour the wax. So I'm started on my next batch. This is going to be for the guys at the heating lodge. I'm probably gonna go give those guys, I don't know, 100 to 150 fire starters for them to try, to give to their employees to try, things like that. So they have a chance to use them and see how they work before they go and offer them to their customers. I just think that that's a good thing. By no means do I want to go give them a full set of inventory and then have them find out that they don't like it. So once these trays are full, I simply just slide them out of the way. I grab the next tray, I bring it in. I'm gonna fill these all up. Once I get them all filled up, you've seen how we put the sawdust in it. I'll put the sawdust in these, and then we'll go grab some wax and we'll do some pouring. All right, guys, so this is gonna be a good test because it's windy. You can see my breath. It's rainy. We've got a fire starter and a glass of water. Yep, water. Gonna take the fire starter, plunk it right in, dip it around a couple times, pull it out, shake it off. Then all I'm gonna do is I'm gonna place it on the grill and I'm gonna light it. Maybe if the wind doesn't blow my lighter out. There we go. So I'm gonna turn you around and I'm gonna put you on time lapse. We are starting right now, and let's see how long this burns for. All right, guys, so I stopped that at 17 minutes in and it's still burning. But that gives you an idea. You know, after these have been dunked and soaked in water, you can light them and they just take off and go. Our wax should be hot enough now, so we'll go in, we'll pour those fire starters and get this batch of samples made up for the heating lodge. And see if that works a little better. Now it's hot. 2 pot holders is what I found to be the best, and it'll still get warm over time. But let's see what we get. Yeah, you can see that bubbles right up. So I just pour a little bit in and I'll let it bubble. And then I go back after and finish refilling them. The wax probably got a little too hot on the grill while I was doing the timed fire starter burn, but I wanted to make sure that we were able to see that they are waterproof and just how long they do burn. And especially with no other fuel, if you add more wood, obviously they'll burn quite a bit longer. This second pour will just about fill them, and then sometimes you'll have to go back and top them off again. I've toyed with other ways and other ideas on how to pour these, but I find if you cool the wax off, it just doesn't pour the way I want it to. They don't look the way I want them to when they're done. This wax is hot. I haven't put a thermometer or anything in it, but I guarantee you it is at least 350 degrees, because it's basically boiling out the moisture that's left in the sawdust when you first dump these in. But now we're just doing the final top off on these, and a couple of these I'm going to poke with a little bit of a stick just because they raised up a little bit and I want to get them to settle back down in. So there's 8 of those. Let me get a little stick from my actually I picked up some weed whacker strings on sale. We'll use one of those to just poke it. And all I want to do is just poke these so that they settle down in the container a little bit. Scrape the wax back. Does this have to be done? No, but I'm a little fussy. I might get some of that from Gramp. But especially where this is a new customer, new order, we really want to be showing them what we can do and bring them our best. So that. All right, guys, so there you have it. You can see the top left-hand corner is starting to dry already. They're hazing. They'll kind of clear up as they go, and the bottom corners have just been poured, so those are obviously still hot and clear. But we'll let these harden up, we'll bag them up, and we'll bring them down to the guys at the heating lodge and see what they think. So, as usual, guys, I'm going to end my video with the same phrase I have been for a long time. And that's a little bit every day goes a long way. We didn't have to do the trunk or treat the other day, but that little bit, it's going to go a long way. It's going to open up an opportunity to us. So help somebody if you can, because you never know what it's going to get you. We helped those people out with the trick or treat, and in return it got us a pretty good chunk of business. So you just never really know. So again, guys, a little bit every day goes a long way. Help someone if you can. We're going to take the green monster and go do some portable sawing. So we'll see you on the next one.